My first memories as a 7-year-old back in 1954. My dad took me there, as happens most of the time. I didn't get a choice, that's why I went. It was my local club, I lived in Ealing, and like everybody else, fell in love with the club. He would take me on a regular basis, and then I went with my brother, who was 4 years older than me, Ron, who eventually went on to play for the juniors and what was then the sort of the A team in the Sea Anglian League. But I thought that's why I followed Brentford. I stayed with Brentford and got closer and closer to the team, as it were. Well, I was working at the BBC, Broadcasting House, and I used to travel into Oxford Circus, or coming out of Oxford Circus Station, coming home. And I remember going to my sort of regular guy who used to sell the new Star and Standard in those days, and the headline was about QPR and the takeover. And obviously I couldn't believe it. You know, in those days there wasn't internet or there wasn't websites and all that sort of stuff. And it was really was just on the paper. So I read that, obviously came home, read about it, and then it just talking to other people before we got to know what was going to happen, and the people like Peter Jones and Supporters Club and their involvement, getting supporters together. You know, we all paid our £5 for our 10 shilling shares. We just all wanted to do something. We realised you know, as individuals we couldn't actually do anything, but as a group of people we certainly could, and we wanted to do what we could. And £5, which wasn't, when you look back, didn't seem a lot of money, but it was in those days, and certainly as a young lad, and indeed everybody else, it was quite good money, to be honest. But we wanted to do what we could, and that was one way that we felt we could help. I'm very lucky. I mean, I'm very lucky in today. I'm working for the club I love. You know, I'm in a dream job, to be perfectly honest, and result of my helping George Goodson get involved in Bigby Radio and the Fresca de Valente, he then asked me to get involved with the radio. And then I started doing that back in 1969, so I've been, some 48 years I've been on the microphone. And I've absolutely loved it. It is totally part of my life. It's not fair to say it is my life, it would be very unfair to my wife to say that, but it is very much part of my life. I know what the club means to me, I know what it means to many hundreds of other people who've been around a long time, and many thousands of people who are around now. But whether it means any more to me, that because of what happened in '67, I don't know. But I think, even as shareholders, we felt quite part of it there. You know, suddenly we were able to go to a shareholders meeting. You know, crikey, we're shareholders or something. It only cost us £5, but it did mean something. And to say that's not criticism of not being a shareholder today, but at that time it really did mean something. It was our club and we were part of it. I've talked to different people over the years in different things when I've been very much involved with the club. And I do think Brentford fans are unique. You know, people talk about football fans, but I think Brentford fans really are quite unique. And there's a lot of old codgers like me still around who can sort of tell the story. But there's obviously a lot of new fans who've maybe jumped on board as well with the success we've had recently. But it's a real family feel about Brentford Football Club. And I think it's good to have the old codgers about. I think it's fantastic that we're recognising what happened 50 years ago, because as much as we appreciate the problems we've had over the last few decades, and we could have lost the club, we could have lost the club 50 years ago.